In the toil of thinking, in the serenity of books, in the messages of prophets, the songs of poets, and the wisdom of interpreters, in discoveries of continents of truth whose margins we may see, we delight in free minds and in their thinking. In the majesty of the moral order, in the faith that right will triumph, in the courage given us when we ally ourselves to truth in any form, in the privilege of being co-workers in good causes, we celebrate the unseen goals we share and serve. Let us build a world safe from war and oppression, free and satisfying, one that ultimately furnishes answers for us all. Please be seated. Graduands, friends, and family, good afternoon and welcome. I'm Cynthia Holmes, Associate Dean of the Ted Rogers School of Management. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the land that we're celebrating on today. Toronto is in the Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississauga, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. Class of 2022, it is so wonderful to be able to celebrate your academic achievements in person. I am so proud to be here today, in person, to congratulate our new graduates and to share in this special celebration with family and friends. As students, you've demonstrated your ability to pivot to virtual learning during the pandemic, adapt to a changing environment, and be resilient during a challenging time. You have also demonstrated your leadership and desire to push beyond conventional business education, take innovative and creative risks, and work collaboratively to contribute to our community. I encourage you to continue this approach as alumni and use the tools you have acquired here to promote business initiatives that have local, national, and global relevance and change society for the better. Although your time as an undergraduate student is ending, you remain a valuable member of our family. And like all strong families, our school embraces its deep and lasting connections to alumni. And speaking of families, I want to thank all your families for supporting you through your Ted Rogers School experience. I'm so glad you can be here with us today. Graduates, I sincerely hope that you will stay connected by joining your Alumni Association and that our paths will cross again, in the workplace, at Toronto Metropolitan University events, or in the classroom as lifelong learners and graduate students. Take advantage of the many benefits and services you have access to as alumni, including support from our Business Career Hub for life. And when you are out there doing great work, your new colleagues are going to turn to you one day and say, "That's so impressive, where did you learn that?" I want you to confidently tell them, "I'm from the Ted Rogers School of Management." To begin this very special day, I introduce you to the Chancellor of Toronto Metropolitan University, Janice Fukakusa.
Graduands, I am very proud and honored to be speaking to you. Today is a very well-deserved celebration for all of you, and we share our pride in your success with everyone whose love and support has played a part in bringing you here today. So normally at this stage of my remarks at Convocation, I typically share a few pieces of advice with you, the graduating class. But after 2 years of pandemic, I think that the graduands should be the one giving the advice. Graduands, you went through a remarkable experience. You endured and came through it, achieving your ultimate objective. You succeeded by facing and overcoming unforeseen barriers. I hope you share your experiences with others, and in fact, be proud of what you have achieved. Be proud of the impact on everything you do going forward in the months and years to come. And take the time to reflect on your achievements, because that builds the confidence that you will need to overcome the inevitable challenges in the years ahead. And when you look back on your university experience, I encourage you to remember what you learned about yourself. That resilience gives you the means to learn from your experiences, and determination will keep you focused on your dreams. After all, you all have proven that you have the talent and the drive to succeed. So on this special day of celebration, let me close by offering my best wishes for your journey going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Fukakusa. Now, please welcome the university's president and vice chancellor, Mohammed Lashmi.
Thank you. Welcome to our graduates, family and friends, colleagues from across the university and beyond. Class of 2022, this is an important day for you, and you have our warmest congratulations. You graduate at a milestone moment in history. Despite the challenges brought on by the pandemic, you remained committed to your studies, kept connected with your classes, and served your community in more ways than I can mention here. A milestone also because your graduating year will be forever linked to the historic name change. What has not changed from the moment you choose to study here to the moment you cross the stage to accept your award are the values that define our university. And when you return as alumni, you will feel at home. Class of 2022, the first graduating class of Toronto Metropolitan University, you helped shape this place. Now, both you and the university look ahead to a new chapter and bright future. A future of promise and optimism, better prepared than ever to meet the challenges and opportunities ahead. This is your time. You have what the world is looking for: talent, energy, and new ideas. Your years here have prepared you for this moment. We are so very glad that you choose this university, that you immerse yourself in our university community. I hope you are feeling grateful for each other, for the good friends who shared your university experience and are now friends for life. Which brings us full circle. While we may find success as individuals, as a society, we depend on each other. We need loved ones, and I see many attending this event with you. We need colleagues. We need community. In French, you know, we never say goodbye. Instead, we say au revoir, which literally means until we see you again. Enjoy your very special day and stay close to your alma mater, for together we will shape the future. And now I invite you to please enjoy a short video.
Today marks a momentous moment in the story of your life. Just a few years ago, you began a new chapter. For some, that meant moving to a new city. For many, that meant discovering new perspectives. And for all, that meant opening your mind to new possibilities. Along the way, you were met with challenges unfamiliar to those who came before you and to those who follow. You embraced the responsibility of learning and unlearning, inspired by the people and places that played a part. Together, we evolved. While this chapter comes to a close, your story continues. Tomorrow, you'll remember this moment, not for who you were, but for who you have become. Today, we'll celebrate the diversity of your experience, your commitment to shaping a better future, and your part in our story. As the first graduating class of Toronto Metropolitan University.
This year marks an important milestone for the Ted Rogers School of Management. It is the 15th anniversary of the naming of the school in recognition for an extraordinary gift from Ted and Loretta Rogers. Ted Rogers died in 2008. Less than 2 weeks ago, we were deeply saddened to learn the passing of Loretta Rogers. Their impact on this school and this university is immense. It cannot be understated. Their gift to business and creative education sparked a transformation that continues to this day. From just over 7,000 students in 2007, the business school has grown to 12,000 students today. To give you some perspective, enrollment in TRSM is now larger than the entire enrollment at 70 other universities in Canada. That's 2/3 of all Canadian universities. Our reputation has reached new heights as well. The Ted Rogers MBA is ranked number 3 in Canada by Bloomberg Business Week and 2nd in Canada for entrepreneurship and learning. Loretta and Ted Rogers believe that education changed lives, and they believed in the potential of TMU students. For more than 40 years, the support of the Rogers family has shaped our university's history and positioned us for the future. In addition to TRSM, their generosity sparked the creation of the Rogers Communication Centers on our campus and launched the Edward S. Rogers Senior Graduate School for Advanced Communication in the Creative School. Loretta Rogers served on our Board of Governors and was awarded an honorary doctorate here in 2004. She was a great friend of the university, and we will forever remember her kind and generous spirit. To honor the memory of Loretta Rogers, I ask you, please, if you can, to stand with the Chancellor, me, to thank Loretta Rogers for her contributions to our university with an applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I now welcome Chancellor Fukakusa back to the podium to introduce today's honorary degree recipient.
President Lashmi, Provost Simpson, deans, esteemed colleagues and representatives who join us on stage, members of the graduating class, family members and friends, honored guests. It's my great privilege to deliver the citation for Ed Sunshine, upon whom Toronto Metropolitan University is conferring the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa, our highest award. In the summer of 1993, Mr. Sunshine was on the road, undertaking a speaking tour in southern Ontario. He was meeting with groups of investors in what was then called Council Real Estate Mutual Fund. He was trying to persuade those investors to agree to convert the struggling fund to something called a REIT, a Real Estate Investment Trust. Now, REITs were known in places like the US and Australia, but none existed in Canada. So not surprisingly, his speeches to investors were met with blank stares and furrowed brows. But Mr. Sunshine is persistent and determined, and the hard work and the long road trips paid off. After convincing unit holders his idea would fly, the company, RioCan REIT, went public in 1994 with assets of $100 million and 8 employees. By 2006, Mr. Sunshine had built RioCan into the largest retail landowner in Canada. It had a market capitalization of $7 billion and 650 employees. It is now one of the country's biggest REITs with assets of approximately $14 billion. From the company's inception in 1994 until last year, when he transitioned to the role of non-executive chairman, Mr. Sunshine was the company's CEO. His success is even more remarkable when you understand how it all began. He was born in the carnage of post-war Europe in a displacement camp in Germany. Both Mr. Sunshine and his wife, Fran, are the children of Holocaust survivors. His parents came to Canada when he was a young child. Educated in the Toronto public school system, Mr. Sunshine went on to earn his BA from the University of Toronto and his law degree from Osgoode Hall at York University in 1970. He practiced law for close to 15 years before he became engaged in creating the first real estate investment trust. In his professional life, Mr. Sunshine has been known as a great team leader, a visionary leader, and a good listener. And in 2013, he was honored as Canada's Outstanding CEO of the Year, and later this year, he will be awarded by the Canadian Chamber of Commerce with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Outside of business, Ed and Fran Sunshine have been community builders and remarkable philanthropic leaders in our city, including here at Toronto Metropolitan University. Their gift of $1 million to endow a chair in race and law at the Lincoln Alexander School of Law will help eliminate the barriers that promote intolerance. Ed Sunshine, for your pioneering work in establishing the first real estate investment trust in Canada, and for your contributions in time and personal resources to build community, we celebrate and honor you today. I would now like to call President Lachemy and Ed Sunshine to the podium for the conferring of the degree. Toronto Metropolitan University, by virtue of the authority granted by the Province of Ontario under the University Act, has awarded the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa with all the rights and privileges attended thereon to Edward Sunshine.
Speaking out of script at the beginning. First of all, thank you very much, Chancellor, Mr. President, and I'm going to apologize in advance. I think Janice grabbed half my speech. She must have got a copy when I wasn't looking. And I learned a new word today, graduands. I thought you were graduates, but graduands, and that's how I'll refer to you. So, distinguished faculty, staff, graduates, and guests. Thank you for allowing me to speak at this convocation. It's a first for me. And thank you very much to all those involved in agreeing to confer an honorary doctorate of law degree to me. I appreciate it very much. When I graduated from law school 50 years ago, I was way too anxious to start my work life to ever even try to get the real thing, even if I could have. Some of my business success has been talked about, but I must tell you my family's success has been greater than anything I've done in business. My wife Fran and I, in our almost 54 years of marriage, have managed to bring up 3 amazing children, each of whom married extremely well, and they then proceeded to have 3 children each of their own, leaving us in the enviable position of having 9 wonderful grandchildren, every one of whom we cherish. Those of you sitting in front of me in the audience see a 75-year-old who's been sufficiently successful in business to provide for my family and be able to give away fairly significant amounts to what my family and I believe are worthwhile recipients. But my life had a very different beginning, as Janice mentioned. I was born in Bergen-Belsen, Germany, just after World War II, a couple of years after. At that time, it was a displaced persons camp. Today, it would be called a refugee camp. My parents were both survivors of the Holocaust, each having spent several years in German concentration camps, primarily located in Poland. I am only here because they were young, strong, and incredibly lucky. My father was, in fact, the only one of 11 siblings that survived this industrialized genocide. My parents married in Bergen-Belsen in late 1945. I came along in 47. However, we were unable to come to Canada until late 1949, when I was almost 3, for the simple reason that Canada, between 1938 and 1948, simply did not allow Jewish immigration. I recommend the book None is Too Many by Irving Abella to those who find this incredible. Even when the laws changed so as to allow Jewish immigration, it was only by way of my mother finding a long-lost cousin in London, Ontario, who was also prepared to sponsor us, that we were able to embark from Germany. We came by ship and landed near the end of 1949 at the famous Pier 21 in Halifax, and after a short stop in London, Ontario, made our home here in Toronto. I went through the public education system, ultimately graduating with a law degree in 1970. That was 50 years ago, and it's hard to believe, but not all avenues were open to young Jewish lawyers or doctors or accountants, for that matter. In fact, even though I stood in the top 10 of my graduating class, I didn't even bother requesting interviews at the top half-dozen law firms in the city. As was well known at that time, they simply did not hire Jews, or people of any color either. There were similarly unwritten rules at the established accounting firms, banks, and hospitals. Many of you will find this difficult to understand or even believe. With the society we have today, still room to improve, but it's a way better than it was. But nonetheless, that was the way it was. And while certainly not liking it, we Jews generally found ways to move forward anyway. For example, some of you may have noticed that almost every big city in North America, including Toronto, has a Mount Sinai hospital. In Montreal, they call it Jewish General. This happened because Jewish doctors, while being accepted to and graduating from medical schools, were unable to obtain employment or privileges at existing hospitals. So the Jewish communities across North America simply started their own. They did the same with law firms, accounting firms, and even golf courses. The restrictions against Jews at that time did not simply affect their careers, but even where they were able to live, as many properties across Canada contained deed restrictions prohibiting sales to Jews and other races as well. It was not until the late 1960s that they were struck down as being against public policy by a decision of the Supreme Court of Canada. I'm certainly not telling you this history to obtain any sympathy, but simply explain that what you see today, whether it's me or the Jewish community at large, is not what it always was, and that the difficulties and restrictions that had to be overcome on our way today were significant, and in fact, in today's context, almost unimaginable. As mentioned earlier, I graduated as a lawyer, and in fact, did practice law for almost 15 years. As I approached 40, I realized this really wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I left the practice of law, went to work for one of my clients in the real estate business in 1987. I had a couple of pretty good years, and while perhaps some of you may have learned about it in the course of your studies, let me assure you that the recession that hit the world in 1989, and which was particularly hard on the real estate sector, was unlike anything seen since the Great Depression. For a period of almost 4 years, mortgage rates were in the double digits. There was almost no liquidity, as central banks had not yet figured out that the best way to fight a recession was simply by flushing tons of cash into the system. And the unemployment rate was in double digits for almost 5 years. But in disaster, one can often find opportunity. Over the course of 1993, I latched onto a small real estate mutual fund, which, due to the macroeconomic situation I described just before, was facing liquidation with considerable losses to the small investors who owned units in the fund. I'd read about this new thing in the States called real estate investment trusts, which were successfully recapitalizing the real estate market there. None existed in Canada, and in fact, the legal framework for their creation did not even exist. Basic concept of a REIT is simple. Aggregate income-producing real estate, pay out a significant component of the income as distributions to the unit holders, and list the units on a stock exchange so that when unit holders want liquidity, you don't have to provide it, they just sell their shares in the market. My father, who was still alive when I was trying to, I'm not that bad, who was trying to organize a REIT, who was still alive when I was trying to organize a REIT, asked me to explain to him how it would work and why I was doing it. He boiled down my lengthy explanation to, I get it. People give you money, you buy real estate with it, you never have to give back the money, and you make a living by doing all that, Eddie. That's a good business. He didn't indeed get it, and I have to admit, I wasn't driven by some vision, but simply the need to create something where I could make a living for myself and my family. So I succeeded in convincing the unit holders to vote to convert the mutual fund to a REIT, took it public in 1994 with assets that were generously valued between $80 and $100 million. While there were many ups and downs over my 27 years as CEO of RECAN REIT, today that former mutual fund has assets of over $14 billion and is one of Canada's largest real estate entities. So that's the story behind this old guy who's privileged to speak to you today. Before I'm done, I thought I would leave you with a few words of advice, but as when I used to practice law, I would caution, advice is generally worth what you pay for it. When I look back, I believe that the reasons for my and others' success in business fall into several categories, which in no particular order are. Integrity. It is a word that everyone knows is important, and almost everyone believes it applies to them. However, you really don't know who will act with integrity and who won't until very difficult situations arise, and acting with integrity can become acting against one's own interests. Once I have made a deal, I stick to it, unless, of course, the facts that were given to me by the other side prove to be incorrect. Even if the world's circumstances change so that the deal I made is no longer a very good one, I will stick to it. not only for my own sense of worth and morality, but on a more practical basis, I can tell you that the Canadian business world is a village. And in that village, an individual's reputation becomes broadly known very quickly. Curiosity. I have never once felt that I know everything I need to know. And I'm constantly curious about what is going on in every field of endeavor, whether it's business, politics, world affairs, or sports. I draw the line at celebrity gossip, however. But even where you might think that the information is completely irrelevant to your field of endeavor, not only do you never know, but it's always good to develop your knowledge base as broadly as you can. Who would have thought that a container ship getting stuck in the Suez Canal would herald the supply chain difficulties that suddenly the whole world is affected by? Or that a flu-like illness unleashed in China 2.5 years ago would literally cause the world as we know it to change in so many ways. One can be smart, and I'm sure all of you graduates are. And one can be well-read with a wealth of knowledge. But without hard work and putting in the time, it generally comes to naught. I have never met anyone successful in business, community endeavors, or academia that doesn't put in the hours. There is simply no substitute that I have ever found for hard work. Before I finish, I want to give a public thank you to my wonderful wife, Fran, who has not only been totally supportive of every move I have ever made, and I made a lot of them, but has to get the lion's share of credit for the remarkable family we now have. You have to appreciate that I took my own advice on hard work, and during the first 20-odd years of our marriage, I worked 6 days a week, and other than Friday night dinner, was rarely home to eat with my wife and kids. And yet they all showed up today, and they're each remarkable. So thank you, Fran, and thank you all. Finally, I want to thank you all for listening, and I want to thank everyone who was involved in bestowing this wonderful honor upon me. Thank you. I'll take it. I'll give it to you. Thank you.
Thank you for your inspiring words, Dr. Sunshine. As our graduands prepare to come forward, I will take this opportunity to request that you hold your applause until all graduates have crossed the stage. We do, however, welcome spontaneous outbursts of joy, enthusiasm, and even relief from family and friends. That's all part of the celebration. And so that all graduates are celebrated equally, we ask that everyone please remain for the duration of the ceremony. I now ask to come forward, and I thank in advance the University Registrar, Robin Parr.
Thank you. Will our graduands please rise if you're able? Chancellor Fukakusa, President Lashmi, Provost Simpson, honored guests, faculty members, staff, family and friends of the graduands. I have the honor and pleasure to present graduands from Toronto Metropolitan University's Ted Rogers School of Management degree programs. Our graduands, including all those who are joining us for today's ceremony, as well as those unable to attend who are graduating in absentia. I certify that each has met the academic requirements for the awards they are about to receive, and that each has been duly approved by the University Senate. My congratulations to each of you. You can be seated.
Madam Chancellor, I have the honor to present the graduate degrees in the Ted Rogers School of Management. Master of Health Administration, Community Care. Health Administration, Community Care. Ferial Lung. Toyosi Monilari. Bachelor of Commerce, Honors, Accounting and Finance, Accounting. Salem Abulugod. Rowan Akramond. Adiba Alam. Junaid Baloch. Amrit Bandal. Hirdiga Bawanandam. Mufrath Buyan, who is being congratulated on stage by their father, Shafi Buyan, adjunct professor in the School of Occupational Health. Kenneth Bonzo. Dilkaran Brar. Razel Sanizal. Carl Joseph Centeno. Mark Colalilo. Noel Junior Del Mundo. Karnveer Dada with distinction. Lavanya Ganeshananda. Harjeet Gill. Bhavik Gundapaneni. Ayman Haidar. Huma Haidar. Jangyan Han. Zara Hashmi. Nevin Ilanga Nayagam with distinction. Alicia Jane with distinction. Abhiman Jayanthiran. Pirami Jaganraj. Taylor Brooke Julian. Tasvanti Kaneswaran. Parsa Khan. Brandon Lee. Chiwen Lee. Rebecca Lee. Wenru Lee with distinction. Jackie Liu. Ying Liu. Joshua Mazel. Ria May Marin. Sugirthan Minachi Sundaralinkam. Sabrina Mirabella. Thea Rachel Montayana. Than Hai Nguyen. Kavinth Paintamil Kumaran. Pinue Chu, Dilraj Rai, Rajinthan Raviraja, Ayazul Raza, Kamil Rana, Christian Samuel, Alexandra Sanchez, Sajada Sakib, Vitharan Shanmugabalan, Muhammad Siddiqui, Yasmin Sidhu, Dave Singh, Alyssa Teles, Nok To, Jalera Gabrielle Tobias with distinction, Renard Trinidad, Stefano Valenti Longa with distinction, Manoj Visvalingam, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce honors in Accounting and Finance, Jonathan Yoganathan, Timothy Yoon, Bachelor of Commerce honors Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program, Mara Amin, Aaron Balakrishnan with distinction, Helen Chen with distinction, Brandon Chung, Christian DeRose, Nicholas Dimopoulos with distinction, Paniota Dimopoulos with distinction, Jirong Gao with distinction, Matthew Garisto with distinction, Syed Hussein, Michael Lee with distinction, Yawen Lee with distinction, Christopher Liu with distinction, Shahir Paul with distinction, Michael Pieroni with distinction, David Shanoy with distinction, Osmabanu Thakur, Amanda Wong with distinction, Zhenyu Yan, Bachelor of Commerce, Honors, Accounting and Finance, Robert Amato with distinction, Ghazal Amirjan, Mariano Anandapa, Antoine Bailey Robinson, Durgesh Bhaskaran, Amanveer Basra, Krista Alicia Chavez with distinction, Claudia Cosentini, Adam Kravich. Adam D'Amico. Dara Fanning. Jason Fernandez. Emmanuel Gessus. Liam Hennessy. Li Huang. Adam Yaboni with distinction. Shrushti Joshi. Spiros Koskinas. Sarah Angela Lea. Lucia Lin. Danielle Maravilla with distinction. Arnav Pabla. Vihan Pereira. Uyen Pham with distinction. Ahalia Ramji. Jasleen Sekon. Christo Strutsas. Ling Fuang Tring. Varun Vinod. Loveleen Walia. Bachelor of Commerce, Honors, Accounting and Finance, Finance Cooperative Program. Ali Akbar Alibai with distinction. Maria Andreyko with distinction. Aja Aiden. Sophia Beati with distinction. Elizabeth Bibberberg with distinction. Raymond Dow with distinction. Anthony Giro Norton. Mark Gitto with distinction. Nicole Grinberg. John Hovanes Kafessian. Sana Cologne. Stephen Karpuzis. Rainy Mystery. Tien Dat Nguyen with distinction. Ashley Singh. Diana Solovyev. Mengbin Tang. Samantha Tucci with distinction. Bachelor of Commerce, Business Management, Accounting. Jeffrey Curries. Himanshu Puri. Bachelor of Commerce, Honors, Business Management, Economics and Management Science. Zakaria Abukar. Munim Ahmed with distinction. Muhammad Ahmed. Sude Melis Aksoy, Nevena Angelkovic, Jansu Antman, Borna Askari Majid Abad Kone with distinction, Christopher Avila, Jesse Barwell, Carmen Brambat, Alex DiGiorgio, Muhammad Amin Ibrahimi with distinction, Daniel Forrest, Fawaz Haboush with distinction, Anastasia Hayevska, Kamani Henry, Naoki Hirotani, Muhammad Idris, Muhammad Islam, Darius Itagi, Aditi Jaglan, Mo Jaiswal, Azar Jazrawi, Rashan Kanaga Nayagam, Nirasan Kanaga Sabai, Natasha Kansara, Lamek Kawish, Yegor Karchenko, Jacqueline Kirilau, Justin Kovacs, Shinro Lai, Junyi Liu, Kevin Mack, Abigail Maravilla with distinction, Elizabeth Madrea, Andrew Missishin, David Naraki, Stephen Otis, Tenzing Palzomla, Evan Preto, Xavier Prue Hodgson, Artin Ranjkesh, Justin Richlewski, Mithushin Sathi Yathasan, Ryan Savoy with distinction, Zachary Shankar with distinction, Roop Sidhu, Alan Tang, Sophia Veradin with distinction, Eleni Vasiliou with distinction, Pirunta Vimala Segar, Anran Wang, Emil Whitford, Evan Woodward Lamont, Jiuxiao Zhang. Bachelor of Commerce, Honors, Business Management, Economics and Management Science, Cooperative Program. Jessica Ahmed. Elliot Cherrick, with distinction. Julian Dranitsaris, with distinction. Krishnam Duggal. Mariam Aniba. Alessandro Farelli, with distinction. Thomas Guillemine, with distinction. Levi Hahamovich, with distinction. Matthew Holoko. Kiana Karimi Shari, with distinction. Kabina Kodiswaran, with distinction. Gurjinder Lal. Grady Mehta, with distinction. Dua Naveed. Adrian Pilet. Mohammed Premji, with distinction. Quinn Prince. Fatima Rashidi, with distinction. Noor Salim, with distinction. Miranda Silver, with distinction. Julian Stanislaus, with distinction. Arsh Veej, with distinction. Nicholas Zarubin, with distinction. Bachelor of Commerce, Honors, Business Management, Entrepreneurship, Syed Ali. Victoria Aristocrat. Victoria Belcredi. Claudia Betancourt. Andrea Cordova Baca, with distinction. Emily Cruz, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Business Management, Marketing Management. Matthias D'Angelo. Jaskaran Dami. William Duong. Rihanna Ennis. Aiden Fortier. Benjamin Foster. Matthew Francis. Andrei Gavrilov. Christian Guillaume. Myron Guzman. Kyle Hancock. Eric Homsey. Nafisa Khan. Sarah Kavasny. Alexander Lam. Jackie Lynn. Adam Magloire. William Mason. Austin Maili Yunus. Nikta Niknam Sadegh. Gabriel Orofino. Rabia Ozbabajan with distinction. Melissa Park. Carlos Peon Perez. Vanessa Ponce Mayorga. Everett Redfern. Amina Rizwan. Marcel Salvador Garcia with distinction. Brady Silvestri. Ashley Sarabian. Lucas Tomlinson. Daoshin Wang with distinction. Alexander Wu with distinction. Mohammed Yusuf. Bachelor of Commerce, Honors, Business Management, Entrepreneurship, Cooperative Program. Hadir Abdul Hamid with distinction. Mohammed Bagat. Herman Liao Hung Wen. Ashley Tulio. Bachelor of Commerce, Business Management, Finance. Daniel Bogod. Bachelor of Commerce, Honors, Business Management, Real Estate Management. Asad Abdali. Kareem Badruddin with distinction. Daniel Cardona Fragale with distinction. Priyanka Chalea. Andrei Dektiaruk. Aiden Domeneghi. Andrew Dinopoulos. Ridwan Alamari. Nahom Eob. Alexandra Fanton. Amir Ali Faraman Farzaneh with distinction. Marco Fronte. Nevis Ferlin. Prabjot Gill. Shane Gulcharan. Zerwa Jabin. Huhua Jiang. Logan Carey. Anthony Macchioni. Becca Massett. Gaganpreet Minhas. Ryan Gunn. Dominic Orozco. Nicholas Polera. Janagan Rajanandan. Christian Rizzo. Paul Santangelo. Ashman Shrestha. Colin Anthony Steele. Michael Tam. Andy Tan. Abhijit Wadwa. Alexander Ewan. Alan Zhang. Bachelor of Commerce Honors, Business Management, Real Estate Management Cooperative Program, Andrew Ellison. Ajale Jones with distinction. Jenny Powell with distinction. Samantha Tang with distinction. Isabella Thurai Rajasingam. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you candidates for the graduate degrees in the Ted Rogers School of Management. Professional Master's Diploma, Accounting. Saham Adnan, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Saif Afroz, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Vanessa Quaresma, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Avneet Diol, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Giancarlo Famele, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Emily Harris, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Calvin Huang, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Benny Lai, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Gun-hee Lee, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Berardino Pelecchia, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Gabriel Patropaulo, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Matthew Pinchin, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting. Christian Rambos, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Lovepreet Saprai. Simran Sardana, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Zayed Sayed, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Zirak Siddiqui, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Abhinaya Sivakumar, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Raymond Wong, who is also receiving a Bachelor of Commerce honors in Accounting and Finance, Accounting Cooperative Program. Master of Business Administration, Business Administration. Yatunde Ajiboye. Venkatesan Alampati Murugan. Jonathan Alfonso. Ibiemi Balogan. Nadia Barbosa. Julia Barletta. Andrea Bartlett. Jacqueline Burns. Harsh Sanjay Kumar Brahmbat. Jonathan Colley. Brooke Prusen. Cassandra Dufour. Aaron England. Omar Farag. Shiri Garielman. Cameron Hughes. Louis Johnson. Mikhail Kirillov. Katrina Klepaki. Imran Nathani. Frozen Nawabi. Raghav Nayar. Tushar Puri. Rohini Talwar. Arja Vakaria. Tanya Vera Miloslavich. Jonathan Verity. Adam Verk. Fei Zhang. Master of Business Administration, Management of Technology and Innovation, Jocelyn Bok. Mahmoud Khalifa. Hardik Kolwadwala. Hong Ting Tiffany Long. Jaswanth Reddy Paduru. Pooja Patel. Sagarika Ramayanam. Bezad Salim Aruni. Govind Sood. Bruno Vani. Master of Health Administration, Community Care, Health Administration, Community Care. Rachel Burford. Eugenia Chan. Vivian Choi. Marisa Cruz Fernando. Shajan Devanathan. Deanne Duncan. Nilufar Haydari Nejad. Mohammed Hotak. Raksar Jafar. Janusha Jivanandam. Faith Julian. Michelle Lafontaine. Michael Murray. Sienna Nanji. Catherine Peterson. Jessica Pinto. Rebecca Sok. Danielle Todd. Emily Vanderclip. Elvira Villanueva. Karen Williams. Michael Kamwa Wong. Master of Science in Management, Hamza Afzal. Amin Bigdali. Delroy Blackwood. Natasha Francis. Shaghair Ghorbani Alize. Megan Herawainen. Muhammad Sajjad Hussain. Faiza Jalali. Ahmad Johar. Stephen Kavaratsis. Abida Malika. Sara Mustafa. Perlin Eng. Hiba Muhammad Noor. Michelle Novotny. Caitlin Poxon. Nasreen Sultana. Shaheen Uppal. Madam Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of today's graduates.
Hello, Toronto Met grads. I'm Jen McMillan, Vice Provost students, and I'm so excited to share this moment with you. After years of hard work and great memories, you finally made it to the finish line. Congratulations on this huge accomplishment. I know you have a lot of family and friends in your corners too, people who supported you when you needed it most and who cheered you on at every milestone. Whether they are near or far, they are celebrating you today and no doubt incredibly proud of your achievements. I hope you feel that your degree not only represents what you learned in the classroom, but how you made the most of your time here. You worked hard, tackling assignments, studying for exams, and balancing jobs, but also played hard, joining clubs, making athletics history, and becoming student leaders. While some of you might have grown up close by, many of you spent hours on a plane to get here, and that's the beauty of this place. We're a community made up of people from all around the world who found a second home at TMU. So take all of your experiences, your successes and learnings, and dive into every opportunity that lies ahead. Grow the network of friends you've built here and help one another thrive in new spaces around the world. I hope you keep getting involved, keep speaking up, and keep living out loud because this world needs you, just as you are. Do you hear me? It needs you, and I'm so happy we could help you on your way. Congratulations again.
When I moved here to go to university, I was, this kid in this big, intimidating city, and this place just felt like home to me.
And I knew immediately, having just come from Jamaica, that that was the place for me.
I spent 3 years here. These are still the best 3 years of my life.
One of the fondest memories that I had was being here at 1, 2 in the morning. You're leaving at around 3 a.m., but it didn't matter because you were doing what you loved.
My fondest memory at the university was the day I graduated. Dr. G. Raymond Chang, our previous chancellor, was handing it off to me. I remember when I got up to that stage, I whispered over to him, "I'm Jamaican as well. I'm so proud to have you as my chancellor." And we giggled.
Interaction with meeting students from all over the world. Interaction with my instructors of the day.
My fondest memory was getting a husband.
The warmth, the camaraderie, the buildings were so friendly.
During my 8 years as president of the university, I officiated at well over 50 convocations. My fondest memory really was to see the students coming across the stage, to see their families excited with them, and to see so many of the students who are graduating be the first in their family to get a degree.
And it's all true. Yes, thank you. It's not fluff.
The university's gold medal is awarded to one undergraduate student in each faculty. Nominees must have demonstrated outstanding involvement within the university, their profession and/or their community, and have also demonstrated their academic proficiency. I am very pleased to announce that Business Management, Economics and Management Science graduate Grady Mehta is the recipient of the university's gold medal for the Ted Rogers School of Management. Grady earned a remarkable CGPA of 4.20, completed co-op placements at Ontario Teachers Pension Plan and Canada Pension Plan Investment Board, and was extensively involved in extracurricular activities at our university, having served as mentor for the Breakthrough Program, the Fit for Business Program, and the co-op program at the Ted Rogers School, as well as Residence Advisor and President of the Residence Community. I invite Grady and President Lashmi forward for the presentation of this award. Please welcome Provost and Vice President Academic Jennifer Simpson.
Good afternoon. It's great to be here with all of the graduates and your families and friends. Here we are in person. My name's Jennifer Simpson, and I'm Provost and Vice President Academic at Toronto Metropolitan. I got here about a year ago, so this is my first graduation celebration as well. You have arrived at this day, at this celebration, and at this accomplishment. Once again, congratulations to each of you. As we bring today's ceremony to a close, we have an opportunity to reflect on the sacrifices and successes that have led to this moment. Take a minute to consider the challenges that you have overcome. Endless study sessions and all-nighters dedicated to finishing projects and to getting through tough exams. You've balanced extracurricular activities with a demanding academic schedule. And on top of all of this, a global pandemic that pushed and challenged you in unimaginable ways. We can also consider the incredible things that you've gained along the way. Cherished memories at varsity games and campus events to reminisce about with lifelong friends. And hopefully, a lifelong appetite for learning to fuel your growth in the years ahead. In completing your degrees, every day you showed up, you persevered, you asked tough questions, you challenged the status quo, and you triumphed. This is a day of well-deserved celebration for you and your family and friends. In many ways, each of you is now standing at the beginning of your own next chapter. We expect that you'll experience moments of excitement, frustration, and self-doubt going forward. I had one of those moments of self-doubt that I still remember well. It was about a year after I was sitting where you're sitting today, and I was finishing up an internship, and I didn't know what was coming next. And I had to make a quick decision. I had to figure things out. I was a bit overwhelmed. And in that moment, I reached out to a professor. And I hadn't been in touch with this professor for a year. I didn't know if he'd remember me. The first thing that's important is he was so glad to hear from me. The words of advice he gave me, I still remember to this day, more than 30 years later. He said, "Jennifer, whenever you can, I hope that you choose to follow your heart." We'd like all of you to continue doing that as well, to follow your hearts, to hold on to your own passions and commitments, and to reach out for support to friends, to family, to professors. We will also be so glad to hear from you. We also hope that you continue to ask questions, to keep learning, and to stay open. I'll say a special thank you to all of the family members and friends who are here with us today, and also those who can't be here who helped the graduates along the way. Your support has been incredibly important to each of our graduates and has contributed to their success in incalculable ways. Let's all thank the family and friends who have supported our graduates. Once again, congratulations and good luck to all of our graduates. We want you to remember another very important idea, that by completing your journey here, you will always be part of the Toronto Metropolitan University family, an ever-growing group of passionate people who are doing remarkable work in every corner of the world. Good luck with all of your future endeavors. We look forward to what each of you will contribute to our shared future. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Provost Simpson. I would like to thank all the staff, volunteers, and faculty here today who helped make this ceremony a wonderful experience for all. Graduates and guests, once again, congratulations from everyone at the university. I hope you continue to enjoy this special day. But first, if you can, please rise and join Carrie Wiebe from the Office of the Dean in the Ted Rogers School of Management in the singing of our national anthem. Following the anthem, please remain standing until all of our graduates have left the arena. Thank you for celebrating with us today.